Welcome to another episode of the Control Your Narrative podcast. I am the narrator. I'm here with the essential character.
That was a full tilt podcast intro.
Yeah.
That was straight up. We've been gone a while. And now we're back. Do you want to know where I've been? I've been quarantined. I've been on a vision quest, and I've been all across the United States of America. Not the world, because still a COVID world, allegedly. But I've been gone for a while, so we didn't do this for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. How's it been being back in the ring?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know you just beat people up. How's it been just traveling the country, hitting the roads, beating people up?
Well, some of the states are kind of nice and open, some of them aren't. Every state has an unnecessary mask mandate, and I'm just saying that based on information that has come out via our elected officials and our leaders who demand mask mandates but do not follow them themselves. So Dr. Fauci, Nancy Pelosi, Governor Cuomo, if you're watching, you failed us. Thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't a political rant. Like, I hate everybody equally.
Yeah. But they don't treat us equally.
Rules for thee, not for me. I think that's the same people are saying.
All right, so we're going to get right into it. This is number 4 of the narrative. The narrative number 4, you chose the wrong life.
You chose the wrong life. You chose the wrong friends, the wrong faith, the wrong college. You chose the wrong career, the wrong passions, the wrong heroes. You chose the wrong love. When you run out of people to hate, you hate yourself. You hit rock bottom, you make a choice. You allow yourself to be cut wide open. You let go. You are no longer your circumstances. You are now the combined effort of everybody who has betrayed you. You have been warned.
Wow.
Powerful 43 seconds.
Yeah.
Get in, get out. Oh man. What's cool about this is I don't remember doing it, so it's nice to go down memory lane.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of this one, other than the breaking of the mirror.
Yeah.
That was more like the drama that day.
Do you want to tell that story?
Yeah, so the essential character comes in with a mirror, because we wanted to break a mirror at this promo. The idea we actually had is we were going to do a Black Flag album cover. Have EC3 punch the mirror. So he goes to Target and gets this big, thick mirror. And
in full gimmick.
Yeah,
leather jacket on, no shirt.
Yeah. So the essential character rolls into Target. Yeah. Paying all the change. And so we did film you punch it a couple times, and it was a very, very sturdy mirror and didn't break. And then we started worrying about actually the detriments of your tendons in your arms if you did this.
I recall the WCW parallel of Goldberg breaking a limousine window as I kept punching it repeatedly. But at this point, I'm not backed by a billion-dollar corporation to cover the healthcare costs, but I'm still trying to break it. I would say I failed, and it upset me. But then aesthetically, we found a better option.
Yeah, and that is for everybody watching at home a little tidbit. That is actually the mirror at the print shop. Now we don't have one.
No, my mother purchased it.
Yeah, it does. We did need a mirror in there. Yeah, it's more of a shield. It's a narrative mirror now.
Yeah. They don't know about that yet.
Yes. So let's go with you choose the wrong life. You choose the wrong friends, the wrong college, the wrong faith. What was your overall goal and the message you were putting out in this film?
Sound cool as shit, number one. But I don't know, everything I said and wrote played into feelings in the time that maybe I've had. I'm sure everybody has had feelings of you wake up. Hypothetically, a scamdemic comes along and forces a job you've wanted your whole life, even if you hated it, to fire you, and then you just kind of whoa, I've worked all this time to get to this point, and this is what happens. You feel like you chose the wrong life. You choose the wrong friends, the wrong college, the wrong faith. Is that me personally? I mean, some friends, we have all done that. And anybody that's graduated college is probably I could have went here and saved money. I wouldn't have these student loans. I could have went here and had.
You could have just not gone to college and bet on yourself.
Yeah, you could have become a welder and be making 6 figures and have benefits and never any student loan debt. And college seems like a scam now.
College does.
When we were growing up, it seemed like you had to go.
Yeah. If you didn't, you're done for.
Yeah, but then I look at some of the people that were kind of like, I don't know who's going to go to college. And they're killing it in life. I mean, I became the most famous one.
I think we both believe in education and furthering yourself, but getting into a crazy debt when there's not a guarantee in the end of it it's. And I remember being in high school, and I was the 3% that wasn't even planning on going to college. Everybody's talking about it. It just didn't make sense to me. I just wanted to play in bands.
Yeah, I'm reminded of that Goodwill Hunting quote where Matt Damon's in the bar schooling the guy with the shitty hair. You remember that?
Yeah.
Just with all this, and I got all this information, or I got all this knowledge with just a library card and 50 cents in overdue charges. Then the fucking prick retorts, "Yeah, but you don't have a degree." Yeah, at least I'll be original.
Yeah, I love that. So
the wrong faith too. You know, people always questioning that. That's not. I mean, do you choose the wrong faith, or do you grow up in a faith and it's chosen for you? I don't know. It sounds cool.
I think especially when you grow up in faith, and then as a young adult, you think you're trying to find your real faith, but you're just trying to find yourself. And it's easy to get masked. It's to have faith is one thing, but to use it to define your happiness is another. You know.
True. And then I grew up Catholic and I was an altar boy, and though believing in God and Jesus are one thing, you think of what was happening in Catholicism. I don't know, priests diddling boys. It's horrifying.
It's like the worst possible thing ever. So that kind of inspired that. You chose the wrong career, more so what I said in the beginning, because the life encompasses that. Chose the wrong passions. Damn, the wrong heroes. The wrong people to trust. Yeah,
the wrong heroes. Most of our childhood heroes have let us down. And even our adult heroes are starting to let us down now, too.
Yeah, because, but you hold them on such a pedestal, and man is fallible and man makes mistakes. So choosing heroes is difficult based on the fact that they are mortal human beings. And everyone has flaws. If it's what they do with them and how they, I guess, bounce back from their horrible action. I don't know. For mistakes, it just sounds cool.
Yeah.
And I think we were going to go on a long rant at one point about heroes.
Yes.
What was that hero quote you like?
All your heroes, my heroes have failed me, and all your heroes will fail you.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Something like that.
Dead to fall. You hit rock bottom. You make a choice. You allow yourself to be cut wide open.
Ooh, I think that's a direct ripoff of Chuck Palahniuk. I do think so, but it sounds like. But you do. When you get to a point of hitting rock bottom, where else is there to go below that? You can't. That's rock bottom. So you have to make a choice. Cut yourself open emotionally, physically. Not physically, like. You know what I mean?
And this is number 4 on the narrative in the promo the propaganda we were putting out. This is still early on in the essential character, like putting together the here's the opening of the character. Here's like, if you walked into the essential character's layers, this is the stuff he's writing on the walls or writing in notebooks, trying to figure out like what his purpose is.
Like John Doe composite notebooks, just filled to the brim with thoughts like this, and just like what the hell? He chose the wrong love too. Yeah.
You are no longer your circumstances. You are the combined effort of everybody who has ever betrayed you.
Yeah, I like
love that.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
You don't know your circumstances. So you can't
you learn from those betrayals, and
you
it
learn
makes
from
you
wrong decision you've made. You're not these circumstances. You have the ability to be yourself and get out of them. And then what's better than success, but success that is streamlined, powered by, filled to the brim with revenge and angst and just fuck you. Like, I'm me. Like, everyone can resonate with that, I think. Because as sweet as it is to succeed, succeeding despite other people trying to bring you down is even better. Because anybody that tries to bring somebody down usually never accomplishes anything. Mm-hmm. I've never met a critic or somebody criticizing somebody that creates something that has ever done anything. Mm. Like, even I've done some stuff, but if I see something I don't like or a performance that's subpar, I never go online and talk about how this person failed. LOL, here's a GIF. Like, that's what does that do? They tried something.
Yeah.
I didn't like it, or maybe it didn't work, but at least they tried, and I respect that.
And social media is so much of that. Everybody has a voice to be a critic, even though a good small portion actually understands the hard work and sacrifice that goes into creating the physicality and the art form of producing wrestling. I think a lot of people like to have opinions on that. And
everybody
has an opinion,
And you have to listen to opinions. You have to listen to different opinions. You have to discuss differing opinions. Not everyone's going to like what I do, and I accept that. I'm not even going to like some of the stuff I do. And I could do it better, and sometimes constructive feedback and criticism makes you better. But as Teddy Roosevelt once said, it's not the critic who counts. It's the man in the arena doing the work.
Absolutely.
Marred in the blood and sweat.
All right, and we're going to do a quick Justified Prince commercial and be right back with you. You have been warned. The Control Your Narrative podcast is brought to you by Justified Prince, home of Meat Castle Clothing Company and free EC3. If you can imagine it, we can print it.
In a time of lethargy and laziness, one puts in the work every single day. In an industry filled with serpents and snakes, one remains loyal to a fault. In a land of giants, one's heart is their greatest strength. And in a company where you would lay down your life, you are spit on and pissed on and thrown away. This is not the worst thing that could happen. It is only through release can you claim your true identity. It is only through release can you break the shackles of the corporate perspective. It is only through release can you control your narrative. And it's only through release can you become a hero. His name is ROCKSTAR SPUD, and you have been warned.
Wow.
Oh, sweet baby Spud.
Sweet baby, yeah.
What inspired the aesthetic of that became a signature of what we do, the projector, is I was on social media, and our narrative member, Huntley, my adopted son, had this projector going in his office, and he was shooting some weird video with somebody, and he's just on his phone, and he shot it, and this girl was in a teddy bear head.
Oh, I've seen his video, yeah.
Yeah, it was real weird, and I was like, that projector, I can do something with that. And then that's the same time Drake, Spud, James came out with his little comeback video because he was released, but he was still doing the Cruiserweight Championship tournament. Yeah. He was allowed to do it, and then he made a lot out of one of the worst things that's happened to him, and he took off being a underdog and a hero and putting his own social media, and it finally was noticed by people in positions of power. It took that long it took him getting fired for people to realize it, but that's just an homage to him. It's no secret we're very much best friends, not only in the industry but in life, and then that's how I feel about him.
And you and Spud, I mean, to not say that ROCKSTAR, Spud, and EC3 didn't really, you guys blew up together.
Yeah.
like in Impact and TNA. Like you guys, like it was like an immediate like you guys both like we got this. Like,
Yeah.
you guys both just got it right away. And in the world of the narrative too, we didn't want it to just be about one person. We wanted to start talking about, you know, other performers in the business that like have really kind of been overshadowed and not given the opportunity that they deserve. And we started with ROCKSTAR SPUD. So in the age of whining and complaining, one never says a word.
I don't know if that's true now that I think about it, because he doesn't shut up.
He doesn't shut up.
But he's never one to publicly complain. He's never one to privately complain. He's never one to, quote, politic and play a victim mentality or a victim card to try to get what he wants. He's the consummate professional, and a lot of the people that got released that day were some of the most professional people I've ever worked with. So it was just, I was fine with it. It hit him hard. And then because he never whines and complains, he doesn't understand why being so professional and doing things the right way every time did not work for him.
When lethargy is rewarded, one puts in the work every day.
Yeah, another thing, I mean, there's a lot of lethargy in people within our industry. I've noticed, I see. He's not the biggest dude. He's not super jacked, but he is the kind of guy that, like, anytime I would be in the gym, he'd be in there with me, especially during our Impact days. Like, he just works. He's always working, almost to a fault. He works too much and too hard. He does.
He has
not
a really
take
rough time putting it down.
He can't. He can't. Like, I tell him, like, just put your phone away for a minute and go for a walk. I hate walking, mate.
In an industry filled with serpents and snakes, one remains loyal to a fault.
It is no secret he's one of the most loyal friends I've ever had, and he's one of the most loyal people a company can have in their possession, because he will toe the company line. He will say the right things. He will do the right things. He'll never do anything to embarrass his employer, nor himself, nor his brand. Like, and let's be honest, entertainment's full of serpents and snakes. Plus, I got to say serpents and snakes.
And in a company, one would lay down their life. You are spit on, pissed on, and thrown away. It's similar to the last promo we were talking about. A little bit more of that, like pointing out the, the level of expendable you guys all were.
Yeah, he like literally would die for who he's working for. That's how loyal and dedicated he is.
He pissed himself on pay-per-view.
Exactly why I added piss into that.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, getting fired during the pandemic's kind of getting spit on and thrown away, but the man literally peed his pants because somebody asked him to. And then somebody criticized him. That same person that asked him to pee himself was critical of him because he peed himself. I mean, it's if I wasn't so used to it, it would be baffling.
This is not the worst thing that could happen.
And it wasn't. It wasn't, because look what he did with it.
Yeah. Only through release can you find your true identity. Only through release can you break the shackles of the corporate perspective. Only through release can you #control your narrative. Only through release you become a hero. So with this promo, do you want to tell everybody about when you dropped it and how you were sitting in front of him? So you went to Drake Maverick's house as this is being dropped and watched him who never puts his phone down. It took him a while to actually find it though, right?
Yeah, well, I went to his place. We were watching him for one of his cruiserweight matches. Never told him I was doing this. Match started. We had it organized to drop then. Watching the match, he's actually watching his own match as opposed to being on his phone. And then immediately cut to break. He's on his phone. What are people saying? Just going through it.
What are people saying? What are people saying?
And I'm just looking at him, waiting for him to notice this. And like 5 minutes, 10 minutes go by, and I'm like, what the hell? 15 minutes go by, he puts his phone down. And I'm like, I'm not going to say anything. And then we continue watching the show and things like that. And then I'm getting up to leave. I'm like, I can't believe you didn't see this. And then as I stand up, I hear my voice coming from his phone. And he's like, mate, did you do this for me? I said, yes. Yes, I did.
Yeah, and he is the he is the definition of mate.
Yeah.
He's solid. He's in our world, he's the mate in the universe of the narrative. His name is ROCKSTAR SPUD, and you have been warned. And as you're watching this now, and it's we're in September, Drake Maverick did re-sign at the end of his cruiserweight tournament, so it was really fun to be a part of that story. He did come by here, and we did a photo shoot with him, and we had intentions of involving ROCKSTAR SPUD in the narrative, and there was a lot being discussed already. And then out of nowhere, he gets that opportunity to still have a future in WWE, and it was really happy to be a part of helping that.
I think too he's going to thrive better in the NXT environment, and I think he's respected by the people in power there. Yeah, because they were always noticing what he was doing and how hard he worked and how loyal he was.
And he's one hell of a leader.
Yeah,
he's got great leadership skills, and I think in NXT that's going to be really used.
Need somebody like him that is unselfish to lead, sometimes by example, but a lot of times now they need a leader that's vocal and he's not afraid to speak his mind. So, yeah, I don't remember who won the Cruiserweight tournament, but I remember his promo from getting fired, and I remember his build-up to the final match, and that's resonates of the story told. I forgot who do you?
Yeah, I don't even remember.
I do now.
Yeah. It took me a second, but because I remember Spud. Drake getting the contract. I remember that stuff. You take that tournament, which could have just been an everyday tournament, and you actually got a story throughout it, and it was like there's so much more to latch on. So you're going to remember this Cruiserweight tournament for Drake Maverick's re-signing because of it, and all his hard work and dedication. You didn't remember the guy winning the belt.
His hard work and dedication paid off because he's the ultimate example. If you give somebody an inch, they're going to take a mile, and they didn't give him an inch. They gave him a middle finger to his face in the most trying times we've ever faced in this country, in this modern era. And he took a mile out of it. So kudos. And
we're really proud of what he's done with it. So.
Proud of him every day.
All right. We'll be right back with another great narrative.
July 1st, 2015.
EC3 knows what's coming and he can't stop it.
The greatest day of my life.
EC3 slips out the back, Kurt Angle stacked up on his shoulders, and EC3's world champion!
Professionally, I've defeated Kurt Angle for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Your winner of the match, and new TNA Heavyweight Champion of the World, Ethan Carter III, EC3!
Personally, I shared a moment so intimate with those closest to me, I can't let go.
Congratulations to EC3!
My greatest achievement. The last moment I was happy. And I still can't let go.
The unconquerable remains unconquered.
I gave everything. I sacrificed my body, my soul, my mind, and my heart for you. And all I wanted in return was respect and pride and love. All I got in return was pain, regret, and hate. As long as the physical manifestation of this title exists, I will not be free. Moose, I understand. I don't care how you won the TNA Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. I understand what it means. Pride, respect, love. But as long as this exists, it will control you. You have the potential to be the most dangerous weapon this industry has ever seen, yet you are hidden. You're hidden behind ring robes, gear, theme music. You're hidden behind false monikers like Mr. Impact Wrestling or a wrestling god. You are a false idol! But you have the potential to be just like me. As I hold this title in its splendor and magnificence, I think, can I go back? Can I go back to the man I was? Happy, proud, and loved? Or do I realize that 5 years long, this has been a weight
on my leg, and I'm in the deep end of the ocean, drowning in sorrow, misery, regret, and angst. I have to let go. I have to destroy the TNA Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. But something so splendid, so powerful, so magnificent being in my arms once again, I do now realize exactly how I must destroy this championship. Something equally fitting, something equally splendid and majestic and powerful. And I invite you, Moose, to come to the destruction of this title. Destroying the nostalgia, destroying the past, destroying this title is the only way I'll be free.
As you die before dawn and you're here,
You have been warned.
you forge my name with your sickness.
Well then,
Well, I know you have some thoughts. So we're talking about the modern central character and its Impact run, and I think we're telling a hell of a story because it's very true and resonating with real life. But this is outside of our narrative, and this is the narrative of the pro wrestling landscape. So the narrator's does not have his dirty little mitts all over it, and he has some thoughts on it. First off, he hates the song, the acoustic guitar, which I get.
no, I mean it was a big opportunity to help write and produce this with you because this was a situation where this was produced in the facilities down here in the narrative down here, and then Impact edited up in Nashville. So it was very just we really went out of our way to tell the longevity of the story of why you want to destroy that title and how important it is to destroy that title and destroy your past. I didn't personally think that there needed to be acoustic guitar. I think it kind of takes away from what you're actually saying. I have a rough time when you use music with vocals, with words over a promo where someone's talking. It kind of takes away. It messes with the digestion system of how you accept the promo. It's still a great package they put together. Yeah. Especially once the drama kicks in, it kicks in well. I just had a rough time with the acoustic guitar. It wasn't like I was so excited.
You're a metalhead, so
yeah, I'm a metalhead. Well, I mean, I would have actually had an acoustic something written to that piece. I would have sat down with our producer and been like, all right, let's get a guitar out and write that. And sometimes that takes a lot. Like art like that takes a lot longer to produce promos, and in wrestling, you don't have that time.
No, definitely. And that was produced by Eric Tompkins of Impact Wrestling, a real stud who's I don't know. The way we look at the narrative and what we create is a supplement to what is happening in the reality of pro wrestling.
Yes.
So what we do on our own supplements what I'm doing with Impact or perhaps other companies. I don't know when this show will air. But, yeah, that was a story that's real. And I think because Moose's story about stealing the title and defending it, but it's not a legitimate thing, I think in a couple weeks, and especially with that little package, it solidifies the TNA Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, though it's not a real sanctioned official title, to have meaning and value and a reason to have the story centered around it. So why not make it as personal as possible for me? Because a lot of what I said was true when I talk about the greatest day of my life. I mean, it's up there.
Yeah.
I had my dream match with Kurt Angle for a world title, and I won.
I was lucky enough to be there.
You were.
Yeah.
If you look back, I hug him on the way to the ring.
Yeah. And it's you gave me the opportunity and the idea of having a campaign manager. So instead of being just a diehard EC3 fan, I dressed like a campaign manager and really campaigned for walked around Universal,
controlling the narrative in the Impact Zone by handing out
T-shirts
and foam fingers and all sorts of paraphernalia.
Standing outside in Universal and not even going up to wrestling fans, just asking everyday people if they would vote for EC3 as champion. We really wanted it to be a campaign. I think I did a meet and greet with you too. they actually had me do a meet and greet.
Yeah, we did the pictures and it came. And you vetted people beforehand and patting them down for weapons so they wouldn't assassinate me.
Yeah, we treated it like a, and I think that we're gonna do a whole podcast about your presidential
That seems relevant.
run. It seems pretty relevant with everything happening on other channels,
But
other
that's
stations.
initial stages of controlling the narrative. Like,
Yeah.
All right, I have a match with Kurt Angle for a world title. How do I get there? How do I solidify myself as a legit threat? Because prior to that, EC3 is kind of a lucky by happenstance, spoiled rich kid who falls into, gets fed tomato cans, and any win is sort of tainted in chicanery and cheating. Then I go and tear a bicep, but wrestle ROCKSTAR SPUD with one arm anyways. And he brings me to the next level to, with a bloodbath and like a vicious hell of a culmination of our story to get me ready for Kurt. I think I stopped with Mr. Anderson on the way to Kurt to help me get there too. And then Kurt does a great job of, in the match, telling the story where I find myself as a man within it. Like, I become a threat going against the best of all time by being able to withstand just an insane amount of punishment. I think I was German suplex 17 times. I had the ankle lock on with the grapevine, but I still found my way out of it. Like, he did me a great service, making me look legit. The moment that
One hell
was
of a
so
story.
personal.
It was
It was good. The moment of personal I mentioned did happen. He was there, but it was a hug with my mom and dad after. Yeah. And then, I think about it and I get a little misty. And that means I'm still holding on to that moment. And if I'm ever going to be free to be who I should be, I need to forget the past, destroy those moments, leave them behind. And that's kind of the story with why I stole the the TNA Championship.
And when we were discussing the psychology of what the story we're trying to tell with the title, I think the biggest thing I was trying to get in my input, it was that I see when someone wins a title, that title now has a part of their soul, of their character. And there was, and so that TNA title was EC3's soul was a part of it. So the essential character needs to destroy that part of his soul.
Yeah, that's good.
To be the essential character. And that's what gets me goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps right now. That's what gets me goosebumps about you stealing the TNA title and Moose being the guy in the story too that you're terrorizing, and it's the layers that impact it's the layers of the story that Impact is telling is amazing.
Yeah, we're all controlling that narrative. It's going quite well. I was going to say something
About the soul in the title.
Oh yeah, it's like Schmiegel with the ring.
Yes.
He just can't get rid of it. And he stands over the precipice of it, but then still holding him back because it still has power over him. Same thing with Frodo. Samwise is... I don't have a Samwise. But same thing, when the time comes to destroy it, will I be able to? I don't know. Will I still hold on to the one time I was happy and accomplished and proud and successful? We will see.
That's very similar to most athletes holding on to, when they won a certain championship in a football, hey, I was a high school I wasn't personally, but someone who was a high school football captain, and they were like the top team, and then they didn't do anything with their lives afterwards. They only have that. It's Al Bundy was like that, you know what I mean? And
24, and they're wearing their Letterman jacket at the same dive bar they've been getting into since they were 18.
We deal with that in the music scene. I hit my peak in my music career at like 19 or 20, playing in Integrity, certain tours. I was doing big 1,000 people festivals, and I didn't let it go for years. I didn't.
It's hard to, because it's awesome. It's
Yeah.
awesome to perform at a very high level and
Yeah.
feel like athletes, entertainers, musicians could be very depressed people when they're not doing what makes them feel whole, or they're not feeling that accolades from others or respect. Like, it's hard to turn it off. It still is to this day. Like, it's not easy to relax when you are wired that way, and then you thrive off it. It's an addiction.
And it's probably been hard for a lot of wrestlers that have been affected by the pandemic because they're not getting to perform on that level.
Yeah, you don't
And
know
it's such a rush, and that connection it drives. It's I give anybody credit that are doing the empty arena stuff and still being able to tell a story without human connection feeding into it. It's a completely different thing.
I feel with an athlete in a sport, they have their teammates to thrive off of at least, or they have, the aspect of the competition. But every wrestler who's working through these times with no audience, I mean, it hurts. They're like, man, I really wish people were out there. I don't know if I did anything good because no one was reacting. I don't know if I did anything bad because no one's reacting. But you have to do what you have to do.
And now all you have is are they reacting through Twitter, and all you have are
That's
the
a
views.
minefield.
Yeah, all you have, like, everybody's living off of likes and affirmation, because like you can't really you can't go perform in front of a crowd and walk off the stage because you got to have that energetic connection with a large audience. That's gone. So like to perform for a living, for just the camera and no audience, it's a totally different level of what you're trying to what you'll actually be able to hold on to.
Yeah. I mean, even my first match back was in front of people in an underground fight club-ish thing we called the Narrative.
Mm-hmm.
But that was, I mean, there were people there that never have seen what we do before, and there was an energy in the building. So it was cool. But then now I go out there and drop Moose on his dome with my reverse DDT, deal with it. To no reaction, it feels awkward. It plays decently on TV, but doing it's something missing, and hopefully that changes soon.
And that was the whole idea with the You Have Been Warned, is like we're when you write stuff you come up with stuff for a wrestling character, grabbing someone and whispering "You have been warned." I just can't wait until there's a live crowd to say it with you.
Yeah.
It'd be cool. I think that's going to be it for today's episode. We got pretty deep on the end there. I'm really excited to see more of what happens with the TNA heavyweight title and the essential character.
Well, I'm going to destroy it. But how? Is the question. You all know the ring is going into Mount Doom, right? The story is, how do you get there?
Exactly. All right, we'll see you next time.